Fantastic Tuesday morning. How are you doing? My name is James Okumu. Thank you for tuning in. Jam 316 Tuesdays, we have Parenting Tuesday, and we discuss issues to do with parenting and how to better raise our children, especially in these times and seasons that we are living in. Life can get pretty hectic. So I have a confession to make this morning. Growing up as a child, as a middle child, I know my mom is watching this morning. Growing up as a middle child, one of the things I really lacked when I was growing up is confidence. I was very shy. Very, very shy, very timid. I liked keeping to myself. Just stay in my corner, do my thing, you guys shall reign. You know, speaking before people was quite an issue for me. I usually tell people that and they think, what? Yes. And it's just how I grew up. Didn't have much confidence in myself, but something happened along the line that changed my perception towards life and myself. This morning we want to talk about building confidence in your children. We live in an age where life is so fast and life is so demanding. Things like social media have brought so much pressure into our lives. Self-awareness, knowing who you are, loving yourself, being confident in who you are. Lots of peer pressure to go in a particular direction because of social media, and the world has become a global village. And so I know, like any parent, you have values you would want to teach your children. But how do you do that and build up confidence in them such that even when they are with their peers and their peers are thinking differently or they have a different way of life, your son, your daughter is confident in who they are and in what you have established for them as a foundation, that they're able to stand and declare, this is who I am, this is what I believe in. Is it possible? That's what we're going to be looking at today on the Parenting Tuesday segment. I have a question for you. Are you a self-confident person? Have you always been that way? Tell me, what are some of the things you do as an individual to boost your self-confidence? It is Parenting Tuesday. Are you a parent? Do you have children? Are your children confident? If they are not, we are here to help you. If they are, we are still here to help you. Questions coming in 20316 for SMS, WhatsApp 0786 316 316. In studio with me today, family therapist Joanne Kirera. How are you doing?
Very, very well.
Good to have you back.
Thank you for having me.
I can see Lillian has given you your cup of Eden tea.
Yes.
It is truly it is the finest garden tea. I'm telling you. Reminder once again, Eden Tea cares for you, Eden Tea cares for me, reminding us in this season not to forget the basics. What am I talking about? Wash your hands with soap and running water. It has become a song, yes, because it has to stick. And we have to be not just hearers of the word, but doers of the word. Wash your hands with soap and running water. Put on a face mask when you go out into the public spaces. Maintain physical distancing with other people, 1.5 meters to 2 meters when you're interacting with them. If you can work from home, work from home. And also remember, don't touch your face, eyes, nose, mouth. All these things are important. If you're working from home, remember, at home, anytime is tea time with Eden Tea, the finest garden tea. So, Joanne, we're talking about our children and how to build confidence in our children. And you know, when we were discussing this topic, a good friend of mine said, don't just talk about children, even talk about adults. Mi nakuwaga na shida sana ya confidence mbele ya watu. Standing before people to talk. So at what point do we begin to help our children to be confident?
It starts with the adult, the parent.
Oh, not with the child?
No.
Okay.
How can you pour from an empty cup?
It's a miracle.
No. Miracles don't happen in parenting. So I can see your cup is full, so you can pour for me.
Yes.
But know that we're not allowed to pour. But basically, the parent has to be the one that starts.
Okay.
But then also the question to ask is, do parents know where they are confident or not? Because they may be thinking, because we have a career, we are doing well in life, we are okay. But how do they tell if they are confident? How do they feel about themselves generally? Especially, yes, it's part of their self-esteem.
Yeah.
How do they feel in the areas where they are challenged, not where they dominate? So that is where they can check.
Say that again.
How do they feel in areas where they are challenged, not where they dominate?
Because it's easy to be confident where you dominate.
Oh, yes. All the time.
I got this.
Yes. If you're the expert, I mean.
Okay.
Who else is like you? So that is the first check. If you struggle in places of challenge, if you struggle to validate yourself in places where you feel those people are better than you, you're not able to take you for who you are, as opposed to where you're presented or where you're placed, then you clearly are struggling with your confidence.
I like what you're saying, because in my generation, all our parents were number one.
Oh, yeah.
All of them fetched water.
Yes.
And took cows for grazing and took firewood to school. And all of them were number one.
Mine too. Even in my generation.
Our parents, we need to have this conversation. Someone lied somewhere. But I'm saying that to say that, there's always this push to push our children, be the best, be the best, be the best, be the best. And sometimes I wonder, when we push them to be the best, not the best version of themselves, but the best, number one, and they're not, does it damage their self-esteem? Or sometimes do we do that to project what we never achieved for ourselves, and we're trying to project it on our children?
Yes. We actually damage them when we don't allow our children to be.
Oh.
Because first and foremost, most of our parents, and I'll say this with all the love I can afford, because I know most of us love our parents dearly, but we also appreciate that they pushed us to achieve what they did not achieve themselves. Or they pushed us to get what they were not able to get themselves.
Yes.
Or they gave us what they were not able to get. So that means they were meeting their own woundedness. So they were wounded. Inside of them was a wounded child. So they were meeting that need through us. Now that is toxic parenting.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So if I discover that as a parent I'm struggling with my self-esteem, with confidence in the areas where I'm challenged,
yes,
how do I turn that around so that I'm able to help my child? Because like you said earlier, I can't give out what I don't have.
Get help. Read. If reading can help you understand what that is happening within you, talk to people who are confident themselves and they're willing to walk that journey with you.
Okay.
And in some cases, you will need therapy, because even the people close to you may not be understanding the deeper issues of what you went through and now it affected you. So whichever method that you can use. There are people who just benefit from reading online resources. Others is by being pushed by their own mentors to go through certain seasons and periods that change and transform them. So whatever it is that you can do as an individual, embrace the process of your own confidence so that you can be able to offer that confidence to your children.
In fact, there's a comment here from Gloria. Gloria is saying, I'm listening to the show in regards to confidence. I wasn't always confident, but from an early age, I learned to discover myself and to read a lot of self-help books that have helped me. And now, as an adult, I still have quotes of encouragement all over to remind me of who I am. Also, understanding who I am in Christ has really been a big help to me.
Let me also say some very many people get transformation by understanding the Word of God. It's okay, whichever works for you.
Yes.
Embrace it.
Okay. So let's focus on the children. Supposing I am confident as a parent, how do I begin to instill confidence in my kids? Because we live in a society that is very, very demanding today.
The first part is to understand that children need to be children, and they will do all kind of messy things.
Yes.
And therefore, what children do, if it topples us over to the other extreme, our anger until we abuse them, then that tells us we are not dealing with this child. We are dealing with our own issues. So beginning to understand that children need to be children. They will do things that children do. They will be messy. They will try out new things. But instead of training them, we punish.
Oh, there's a difference.
Oh, yes.
Explain to us the difference, because some of us confuse the two.
Yes. Training is where I am the example of the child. They see me do certain things, and therefore they follow. Now, research has shown that children are more observers than we are hearers. The children, that is.
Yes.
So the training is what works than the punishment. Punishment is where a child will, say for example, steal, and it's typical of a child to steal from time to time because they do not understand the implications
Of what they're doing.
Yes, but we want to imagine that it is so wrong. Well, it is, but then we have not trained them why it is not okay, and I've picked an extreme. See, they will do other things, like even insult, but then again, training helps the children to get the confidence because they understand, oh, this is okay and this is okay, and it's not okay because of 1, 2, 3. In training, you give reasons. You don't assume, because when your word is law, you're teaching them they have nothing of their own.
Oh, that's very important.
And that's part of why children lack confidence growing up, because they are waiting to be told. They have no ability to think for themselves because everything they think and do is wrong. So training helps them to identify why this is not acceptable and why this other one is more acceptable. So they begin to make decisions around that which is acceptable, as opposed to fear of doing anything because they do not want to be punished.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. That's an interesting one. I remember a friend of mine, Dr. Stanley Mukol, was telling us that, you never punish if you have not trained.
But
Training
we do all the
always
time.
comes first, Training comes first because you're punishing a child for something they did not even know is wrong because you never taught them.
Yes. When children come to my office, I have toys where children go through therapy.
Yes.
The toys with play. I see them when they pour sad on the floor. They turn very fast and look at me. Almost scared. Some even say sorry. Yes. So where did they learn that? Because they are learned, there is no excuse for some certain things. When you do them, you get punished. That is why the fear is so outright. But what about if we spend time training? When they do what we think is inappropriate or know is inappropriate or doesn't go with our values, then we help them understand why that particular thing is not okay.
I like what you've said. We help them understand. For most of us growing up, that whole concept was missing. We were just told it's not good, period. But you were never really told or made to understand why. And I've realized the generation we are raising up now, they want to know why.
Yes.
Daddy, can we go out? No. Why?
Yes. Yes.
It is cold, but I'll wear a sweater. No, you can't go out. Why?
Yes.
So I like what you're saying.
And why is a holy question actually should be respected?
Why is a holy question?
Yes, or it's time to eat. No, but I don't want to eat a plate full.
Yeah, I'm not hungry.
Allow children to negotiate. Have you observed a certain generation has come in and people are complaining when they go through interviews and are given jobs, they don't know how to make decisions.
Yes.
You've had that complaint.
I've not had, I have witnessed.
Oh, now we are home.
Yes.
And the thing is, at some point the millennials were not allowed to make decisions.
Yes.
Decisions were made by the parents or the nannies. When to eat, how much to eat, what to eat, all those kind of things, where to go, the kind of game to play, what shouldn't get them dirty and all that kind of thing. But you see, a child who is going to be confident needs to be allowed to make decisions and negotiate them, even when they're not okay. But also we have a generation of parents who were parented by rod. So they don't understand, why are you questioning me?
I am the parent here. In fact, we'll talk a bit more about that negotiation part. I absolutely love it. We are talking about building confidence in your children on Parenting Tuesday today, inviting your questions via text 20316 SMS line, WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. It's Parenting Tuesday on Jam 316. My name is James Okumu. In studio with me, Joanne Kirera, family therapist. Building confidence in your children is what we are talking about today. Are your children confident? How do you build confidence in them? Talk to us. SMSs on 20316, WhatsApp 0786 316 316 if you have any questions. We were talking about negotiating. and as we were listening to that song, I was showing you a video. There's a video that trended several years ago of this 3-year-old trying to negotiate with a mother. The mother is called Linda, and he keeps saying, listen, Linda, listen, Linda. It's a very interesting conversation, but somebody's asking, where do you draw the line between negotiating with a child and getting what needs to be done?
There's no raising confidence in children without creating workable structures.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Let me give an example. Children need to play in the house with their toys.
Yeah.
But they also need to be helped to understand that after play, you need to put your toys in their toy space. Now, training is not punishing them tomorrow if they do not do it. Because even as adults, there are things we don't get right in a number of years.
Yes.
So training a child is continuous, repetitive, calm, and firm.
Oh, calm and firm. I like
not
that.
Shouting. That one, we will lower their confidence to something that we cannot talk about here.
Oh.
Because when you shout, you cause them to fear. They will do things out of fear, not out of confidence or understanding. So, when you create this structure, when the toys are not in their place, you'll come and say, you remember, guys, you said after you play, you put toys in their space. Then you're going to help them, if they are young enough, if you're just beginning to train, you'll do it with them. Then at some point, you just say, now you guys know how to do it, go on and do it. This is where structure, limits are there. There's warmth, but there's also limits. They know if they get to this point, there is a consequence. You need to help them understand what it is. If you guys are not going to do this, then this is going to happen. Is it clear? Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Once that is clear, now when you're negotiating, you're not going to be negotiating from a point of them. They're not going to be negotiating from a point of what is already set limit.
Yes.
Again, when our limits are not clear, we become uninvolved parents, and we are raising children who are going to be very disastrous in the society because they will grow with a sense of entitlement. Anything I want, I do. So when limits are clear, then they are not negotiating from the limit point. And when they negotiate from the limit point again, then there are those you can adjust, there are those you strictly want because they are not even healthy for them or for their family.
Okay.
So when that is clear, then I see no confusion.
I'm just wondering, even thinking through some of the things you've already said as we talk about negotiating, does allowing your children to negotiate help them to learn how to express themselves? Because one thing I've learned, especially with this generation, is this: people don't know how to express themselves. I've sat down and watched interviews and I'm thinking, I know what you want to say, but you're not saying it. It's like you're afraid.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. So
yes, it does. Actually, allowing children to negotiate with you helps them to build assertiveness skill. I want to say this is how I want to say it, and I know if I say it this way, I will not be shamed.
Ooh.
But what did most of us do? When we tried to say something, we were shamed so much. I'm the parent here.
You're here to be
I
seen
give
and
back.
not to be
Yes, I even give back to you. What are you telling me? What is it that I don't know? So you're shamed for trying to be assertive, for trying to say what you want to say, how you want to say it. And so, moving through life, what do we learn? Our opinion doesn't matter.
Yes.
And actually, the thought that I can express it gives me a lot of shame.
Oh, that's bad.
That is nothing close to confidence, clearly.
Yes.
But
That
if
is
you allow
bad.
me to speak, negotiate, I'm
Yes.
learning, first of all, a child learns, so my opinion counts. So I deserve to be listened. Yes, I'm actually very important. That even a parent who is an authority figure in my life can listen to me, who cannot listen to me in the world.
You know, some time back, I can't remember who I was hosting, and we were just talking about the sudden changes that we had to make because of the coronavirus. And, you know, what she was saying is we need to include children in decisions. Whether you're buying a new car or you're moving house, you need to give them an opportunity to share what they think and what they feel. And I'm just thinking that ties into what you're saying, because it makes them feel like I am part of this family and I have an opinion and it's important people listen to it.
Yes, yes, yes. One of the ways to raise confident children is to allow them to make decisions. I have seen on the streets of social media people saying, ati mtoto wangu 2 years anakataa kuvaa hii sweater. And then the people ask, mbona mtoto anaanza kukukalia mapema hivi? See, without realizing at 2 years they begin to make their own decisions.
Yes.
They actually begin to express their independence.
And they begin to like certain things and not like others.
Yes. So part of that decision making, if it doesn't hurt, what's wrong with a child picking on the red sweater and not the green one? It doesn't hurt anyone.
It's still a sweater.
It's still a sweater.
Yeah.
Meets the purpose. So allowing children to make decisions, teach them through life that they have the power to do it. In fact, part of the struggles we have with adolescents and young adults is because they were never allowed to make decisions.
Okay.
You ask them, who determined when you eat? Even at home, there are adolescents who will not eat or cook unless they are told what to eat and what to cook. Trouble right there.
Very true. I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine and they were saying, I've come home, it's 7 and the kids are there at yawajakula lunch, and I'm thinking, why didn't you eat lunch? And there's food in the fridge.
But again, it's their stomachs. If they were not hungry, sin is sour. So, but that is a pointer to children who are not allowed to make decisions. Actually, by 3 years, no parent needs to be teaching their child. To be feeding their child. At 3 years.
You know, I said that last week. Was it last week?
Oh, you did?
I get very mesmerized when I see either the house girl or the mother chasing the child all over the compound. At Jaden Kula. It's always Jaden. Jaden Zikule. I'm thinking, leave Jaden alone.
Yes.
Akiwa nanja, he will find the food himself.
But what are we teaching them by forcing them to eat and eat some amount of food? That your decisions don't matter.
You see our sizes. It's because Mrs. Okumu, we have to talk. By force, by fire.
So it doesn't work. It doesn't. Especially self-care. Have I even said that you have seen, men in their 30s and 40s, they can't do anything for themselves. They want, because they have a good career, they want to get married so that the women can take care of themselves.
Yes.
There's no pride there. It's an African, actually. It's simply because they have no decision-making skills.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. There's something else we need to talk about. The whole issue of allowing our children to be curious and teaching our children to ask questions. I remember my second born. My second born is very curious. He was the child. If you visit somebody with a balcony, you're always watching over him because he will be curious to see what's over the balcony. And I remember one time the teacher called me because he was saying your son is very rude, and I asked why, and he says he asks questions about everything. And I said, how is that rude? Don't we ask questions to learn? Isn't this a learning institution? Aren't you a teacher? If he's asking questions that are not malicious questions or they're not, funny questions, if it's genuine questions, I encourage that. I see that as a good thing. And I think we have not been taught to be inquisitive.
You're right.
We just embrace what we are told. Yeah. And I wonder whether that's a good thing.
It's an amazing thing. Actually, that son of yours needs to get many high fives. That kind of thing.
Yes.
The thing is, we are not critical thinkers because we have never learned to ask some more, think some more, and ask. we build that, and it's amazing. A critical thinking person is always very confident because they know they're above the rest.
Okay.
Confidence. But this was learned by the power imagination being promoted. When they are curious, when they adventure, they find things for themselves.
Yes.
They get answered for things that they thought, so they realize, so I can even think more and I can ask more. So there's no other confident person like one who can think critically, because they are out of the box people.
Okay.
So yes, that needs to be promoted a lot. And sometimes even in what we call distraction, because they were trying to find what is in a remote.
Mtu anaongeaka kwa radio, nataka kumuona. You find your radio in pieces. So
it's okay to it's okay for you to feel your own emotions because you're an adult. It costs money. But then deal with your own first and ask, what was the child up to? And it helps to ask the child, what were you looking for?
Yes.
Then now train. Now, next time you ask mom and dad if you want to touch something or check what is there.
Wow. Okay. Questions on 20316, WhatsApp on 0786 316 316. I have one here that's talking about how do you help an adult son to find confidence in him and not in substances. We'll talk about that shortly. If you have any other question, remember we are talking about building confidence in your child. Or maybe it's building confidence in you. Maybe mtoto hana shida. Maybe wewe ndio uko na shida. A lot of people don't have confidence. It's amazing how many people suffer with low self-esteem. In their nice dresses and their nice suits and their mascara and their lipstick, you look at them and you're thinking, wow, but on the inside they have a fight. They have to fight every day because they're not confident. Maybe that's you. Ask a question. It doesn't have to be about your child. It can be about you as well. And Joanne will be able to point us in the right direction. It is the Parenting Tuesday. I nearly said Parenting Clinic. Maybe we should just call it Parenting Clinic since we have Relationship Clinic, Financial Clinic. What do you think? Parenting Clinic sounds nice? Well, we'll see. Talking about building confidence in your children, and in studio with me, family therapist Joanne Kirera here, giving us some very, very good information and tips. I have a question from Dennis. Dennis says, I find myself struggling with panic, especially when I have to make decisions. Could it be that my confidence was damaged in childhood? And I want to tie that with another question that came in earlier of a parent asking, how can I help my adult son to be confident in himself instead of substances he's using?
Yes, I would say 70% tied to childhood, yes, because we learn through life. So if you find yourself panicking, the question is, where did you learn fear when it comes to decision making?
Oh, because it is learned.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
We pick emotions around certain issues from our parents.
Okay.
And this is very significant. I would want parents to understand this, because if every time a child makes decisions, they are met with a lot of criticism, what do you tell them? Shrink. Doesn't matter. So they will walk through life with that emotion. Anytime decisions are involved, the emotion pops up.
Wow. That's deep. So what can they do?
These ones I would recommend therapy. Yes, let someone walk you the journey who understands to pick the cause, because unless the cause is picked, and doing substances is a way of coping. Yes, it's a coping mechanism. Yes, just that it's a negative coping mechanism because of what they feel inside. They are so under duress or stress when they are in their normal selves. The pain inside is what comes to mind. So by continually depending on something that helps them for some time, reduces. Of course, we all know most of the time it ends up in addiction. But addiction is something that needs treatment. Prayer is okay. But, support is okay, but still needs treatment. Okay. Listen to this one. This one says, Huyo ni mimi, I was thoroughly beaten for asking why and constantly being compared to my siblings who never tempted to follow my questions. I look at my life right now, and some of the things I do, it is still out of fear of what my folks will think.
Focus a bit on that whole issue of comparison. Why aren't you like your brother? Because I am not my brother.
But you just said it.
Yes.
You see, children are their own unique individuals. But when we raise children expecting them to be mini us, act our thoughts, do things our way, then we miss it. Because we need to build our work. They are just God-given gifts to us to help them become what God created them to become, not what we want them to become.
But just sometimes as a parent, you may be doing that, but you're doing it from a good heart. You want the best for your child, and you're seeing like your brother is doing so well in this area, why can't you also do well in this area? And so the tendency is also, why can't you be like your brother? Your brother does his homework, your brother makes his bed, your brother, why can't you be like your brother?
Taking children through therapy, I have realized how you get children to do the best they can is to believe in them.
Okay.
Using the positivity as opposed to negativity. And comparison makes someone feel, oh, so my brother is way better than me. There's a difference between encouragement and praise in building confidence. Encouragement is where you let a child know, I believe in you. I am proud of you. I know you can do it. Like they're struggling with some assignment, come look at it. They are fearing and beginning to cry because their brother or their sister has already done it. Say, you know what? Just relax. Sit down. Have a few minutes. I know you can do it. You're my child. I know you can do it. Relax some more. I still know you can do it. When you do this, you're building them to know, oh, Mommy, Daddy believes in me this much. I actually can do it. Remember, we are the primary influence of our children.
Wow.
Very primary. Before teachers, we are the most primary influence. So if you tell a child, if you let a child know you can do it and walk them supporting, okay, see you have added 1 + 1 + 1, now you got it. Hey, this is awesome. I told you you can do it. Now, within a very short time, the child will be able to go through it, as opposed to telling them Nani has done it. You see, it's okay if they say, but my brother is getting it well, and say it's okay. Your brother can do it at their pace. You will do it at your pace. You will get it. You will end up with 2 wonderful children.
What about, most of us, our parents raised us up with reverse psychology, where the threat came in a way that it's not sounding like a threat, but it's a threat. Oh, hizo vyombo msioshe, hizo vyombo zilale tu hapo. And you're thinking, okay, so what are you saying? You know, or sometimes it's just the negative. You know, when mtoto mjinga sana, how can you get this marks in maths? My child, are you sure you are my child? Me, I never got, you remember all of them when I'm
Oh, yes.
Me, I never got this marks in maths.
But then
I was
number
the top
1.
in my class.
Strange.
I was the top in my class. When mtoto wa nani, what does that do to the child?
Damages their esteem. They actually feel foolish, as you call them. One of the days, I whether my brother is watching or not, I'm sure he meant nothing ill, but still what's very destructive. I've always been that overweight child. So after,
Overweight?
yes,
You?
I'm still overweight, never mind.
Lay hands
When
on
I was-
some of us.
When I was after Form 4, I was too obese. So he told me, we, Jawan, vile unakuwa mkubwa, siku moja utoshei kwa hii nyumba. You slowly, you know, unaendelea pole pole, and then utatoshana na ng'ombe. It was supposed to be a joke.
Yes.
Still very destructive. So, do you know, I believed I was very ugly.
Oh my goodness.
If anyone told me I was beautiful, I hated them.
Oh my goodness.
See?
Yes.
So this was not even me as a child, but of course it was still in my teen when I'm trying to find my identity, who am I and everything. And I'm not here to blame my brother, because I take responsibility of what I felt, and I have handled myself to gain my own confidence.
Yes.
But I'm using this example even for those very strange jokes that we make on children.
Yeah.
You see? Or even when they cry, then we laugh. We are teaching them to second guess themselves.
Wow.
It doesn't matter what you feel. It's not valid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
Listen to
okay.
this one. How do I help my 14-year-old son who finds it hard to express himself? He knows what he wants to say, but putting it in words is a challenge. He fears failure a lot. That's coming from somewhere.
Yeah, coming from somewhere. Fearing failure is people who are brought up, I accept you, you're good when you perform.
Okay.
Whether performing is building this car, whether performing is doing very good grades.
Yeah.
So you might need to check what is it that you communicated to your child when they passed. And this is the challenge of praise. Praise is okay. But if the child gets a hug, if you get a sitting and congratulations only when they become number one or attain a certain mark or do a certain sport amazingly, then you're teaching them, I only accept you when you perform.
Wow. Okay.
So this one, the parent might need to check where did it begin and begin to validate this child, appreciate them, encourage them that being their son is good enough.
Yeah.
We know you're good, you think, whether you are expressing well or not, and allow them to learn to express themselves without criticism. Aji express too. Hata ikikuwa mbaya, then you say, okay, I got this one. Maybe you can clarify a little bit what were you saying in number 2 and number 3. Then I can get it well. No pressure. It takes longer,
Yeah.
but it's doable.
You know, one of the things I've also realized when it comes to communication, because I'm one of those people who gets frustrated in a situation like I'm listening to somebody and they're not saying what they need to say. I just feel like, and one of the things I've learned as well is that sometimes there are people whose speaking comes naturally. Like for me, it comes naturally. Give me a microphone, I'll figure out what to do. There are people who struggle, and I always tell them, write it down. Write down what you
Amazing.
want to say. Read it. It is okay. Yeah. Just write it word for word. This is what I want to say. Go through it. It sounds nice. Come up. Read it. Forget about the people. Don't even look at them. Just read what you want to say. Because then you get a place where you begin to build confidence.
Yeah.
Begin to build confidence. I remember my first days as a radio presenter. I would write down word for word everything I was going to say on the show. But as confidence grew, then I also grew in my skill, because it's a
Fantastic.
skill that you're able to develop and able to grow in it. More SMSs coming in. This one says, what a blessed day the Lord has made. I'm a parent to 4 children, 21, 17, 10, and 2. For my children, I have learned I cannot apply the same parenting principles across. My first child is easy. My second child is curious. He tells me things from the Bible that I literally have to go and check to confirm. My third child simply cannot do something just because you said so. You will need to explain why you want him to do it. My last born has a mind of his own. Basically, it is good to have principles, but we also need to understand that character is different in all children. What do you think of that?
Yeah, fantastic. Very well said. They are very unique. If you can only allow them to be them,
Yes.
then we're going to be doing the best for them and not for us.
Wow. I lost confidence in class 4 when we moved in a new place out of ridicule and could not copy schoolwork. Even now, I like making decisions from affirmation.
Oh.
The people who are always second guessing themselves. And I think sometimes even you have adults who have not grown and prospered in maybe even their career or in their spaces because they find it hard. You're always looking for somebody's affirmation before you do something. It's like you're always seeking for permission. Should I do this? What do you think of this? What do you think of this? You can't make the decision on your own. I don't know how such a person can be helped.
That's a self-esteem issue. So again, we would need to begin by, where did you learn that your decisions don't pass? Okay. So if you can discover that for yourself, then it's easier to move through life. But also, the case of this one sounds very different because it says in class 4 when they moved. So it's very important to prepare our children for loss.
Oh, yes.
You see the way COVID hit adults.
Yeah.
even those who are confident, we got destabilized for a moment. We're like, oh,
Some
so
of us
which
are still
direction?
spinning.
Oh,
We are not
yes.
stabilized yet.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
human. It's
Yes.
human to go through these instabilities with loss. So when a child has not been prepared for loss, we are changing schools, we are moving houses, we are changing locations, even we are, moving some people from the house.
Yes,
you
even
know.
a new baby is coming.
That's a loss. Of course it is.
Yes.
Even when nannies leave,
Oh,
explain
yes.
to your children,
Oh,
I
my
mean, without the
goodness.
major details,
Yes.
but that this one has left and another one will be coming. They will not be like the other one. So it would have helped this child so much if they were prepared that this school you're going, you will not have friends. You may take long to make friends. You may find bullies.
Yeah.
If they do this is how you go about it. You see, so it's very, very important to prepare children, because if we don't, we put them in a destabilized setup.
Okay.
Bullies can pick on timidity,
Very
and
true.
they capitalize on that.
One more question before we run out of time. We live in a generation today where screens are everywhere. The screens have become part of our existence. And like for us, when we were growing up, we interacted with the screen from 5. Station ilikuwa inafunguliwa saa 11 jioni. But today our children are online throughout. And I'm seeing less and less of face-to-face interaction. Does that affect their confidence?
Yes, thoroughly, totally.
Oh.
A person with no social skills,
Yeah.
who are you going to be confident towards? Okay. So I will say this, and I know I'll be beaten for it, but screen
Don't
time
worry, I'll
needs
protect
to
you.
be limited.
Yes.
If it's not limited, then you are raising robots who can only exist in their space,
Yeah.
and who can only pass information through
Through the screen.
or through text, or
Yeah.
So thing is, when every family needs to have time off screen, that means time off phone, time off TV, and we are here interacting
Face-to-face.
face to face. Let them express. Wacha kutumiwa text na mtoto wako. Na ukikuja, you will not discuss it.
Yes.
So you say, oh, I got it, go pick this. We are teaching them, do not be confident, because if they can't relate to human beings,
Yes.
it becomes very difficult to relate with them in future.
Joanne Kirera, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
Always
for
a
having
blessing
me.
to have you. Your wealth of knowledge is really helping us as we parent our children.
Thank you.
Awesome. That's all the time we have for today. I hope you've gotten something that will help you build confidence in your children, or build confidence in yourself as an individual. I was saying earlier when I began the show, I was not very confident growing up, very timid. And something just happened, turned everything around. And so it's possible. I was not the kind of person to stand in front of people and speak. I'm telling you, I would susu on myself, big time. But today, I live for that. Show me a crowd, give me a microphone. That's become my life. So it's possible for that transformation to happen.
For this and more of our shows, log on to www.familymediaonline.com to enjoy a wide variety of programs, from current affairs to testimonials and features, pastoral and inspirational shows, kids entertainment, and so much more. Also stream live on www.familymedia.tv.